quesadilla, ground turkey, pico with the black bean. Ay, quesadilla, ground turkey with the pico and the black beans. Here's the ingredients you'll need: onions, peppers, and shredded cheese, tomatoes, limes, and black beans, tortillas, avocado, ground turkey. Now follow the recipe, cook up, and let's eat.
Hey you guys, I'm Chef Za, and I'm going to show you how to make ground turkey quesadillas. Shout out to Gooder for providing the ingredients for today's recipe. So the first thing that I am going to teach you how to do is make pico de gallo. So you may have had it on your tacos, on your nachos, but what it is a fresh salsa. So we are going to be using some Roma tomatoes, some cilantro, white onion, a jalapeno if you like a little spice like me, and some lime. So the first thing we want to do is cut up the tomato, as it is the base for this recipe. So we're cutting it vertically, and we are going to cut it into strips. So you want to be very careful. If you don't feel comfortable using a knife, make sure you ask your adult at home to help you. Alright, so we're just cutting this into very small pieces. So the next ingredient that we are going to cut is our jalapeno. Cut it into small strips. And again, be careful for your fingers. And then we're gonna cut it into small squares in the opposite direction. All right, so next we're just going to add our tomatoes and jalapeno into the bowl once it's all cut up. All right, so we're just rolling our cilantro up, and we're just chopping it roughly to add into our pico. We want to make sure the pieces are small enough to be eaten on a chip. So next we are going to add lime juice into our pico. This is going to freshen everything up and just help it come together. It's going to create a nice tart flavor for the white onions, the tomato, and the cilantro. And then next we are going to add a little bit of salt. You want to make sure that you don't over salt it, because too much salt is not good for the body, but it does help enhance the flavor of the other ingredients that are in the recipe. And mix everything up, and you have pico. It's really simple, really easy, really flavorful. So now we've made it to the main part of the dish, the quesadillas. I know you were waiting. So the first thing we are going to do is dice up our onions and our peppers. You can choose whatever color pepper you like. You can do yellow, orange, red, but today we are going to do green. So just like we've done in the other part of the recipe with the pico de gallo, we are going to remove the seeds. So what we're going to do now is cook off our ground turkey, our black beans, and some other ingredients so we can have a great feeling for our quesadillas. Add some olive oil into our pan. You can also add whatever oil you find at your local Gooder grocery store. So next we're gonna just let our pan heat up, and then we are going to saute our onions and peppers. So you want to make sure that your peppers and onions are sizzling, and you're going to begin to smell the lovely aroma of your peppers and onions, but you want to make sure that your pan's not too hot. We're going to keep it at about a 4 or a 5, and we just want to make sure that they smell nice and they're not getting burnt. This process, we're cooking off the natural oils of the onions and of the peppers. We're going to add our ground turkey into our pan, and this is our protein of choice. You can also use ground beef or meatless crumbles if you like. And if your pan is like mine, you need to add a little bit more oil so your ingredients do not burn. You don't want your food to be too greasy, but turkey is a leaner meat, so it does not release its own oils like ground beef does. So we just added a little bit more olive oil, and we want our ground turkey to brown. All right, so next we are adding our taco seasoning that we just made, or that you could get at the Gooder grocery store. So we're just giving that a good sprinkle to season up our meat. And then we are also going to just mix it all in. All right, and you're gonna smell the spices come through. You wanna ground your ground turkey or whatever other meat you're using with your spatula. All right, and once our turkey browns, we're gonna brown it for about 7 minutes. So next we are going to be adding some black beans as well as our canned tomatoes, which you can both find at the Gooder grocery store. We drain the liquid from both of these ingredients so we don't make our ground turkey mixture too watery, but this adds a great flavor to our ground turkey. If you are vegan or vegetarian, you can also just simply use beans and a plant-based cheese, or you can use the cheese that we are going to use today, Monterey Jack, for our quesadillas. So we finished our ground turkey mixture. Our ground turkey is completely cooked, and we've added our black beans and tomatoes. So it looks like this. It looks so good. If you like chili, this would be a great base for some chili. So next we're adding our pan onto the heat, and we want it to toast up and get heated. We don't want to add too much oil because we don't want our quesadilla to be soggy, but we want it to be crisp. So what we are about to do is add our tortillas to our lightly oiled pan, which is on a medium-high heat. It's about a 6 or a 7. So we're just gonna place our tortilla down and we're gonna let it sizzle up. We want it to get the heat of the pan, but we don't want it to overcook because we still have to add our ground turkey mixture as well as our cheese. So we're gonna give it about 45 seconds or so. So our tortilla is nice and brown. This is exactly what we want. I'm just getting those air pockets out, and next we're going to add our fillings. So we're using a slotted spoon to drain out the extra liquid from our meat mixture. We're just gonna add it to half of the tortilla. Next, we're gonna add our cheese. I like to use Monterey Jack cheese because it has a nice cheese pull. And it's typically what you get for quesadillas. And you can find this at the Gooder grocery store as well. All right, and next we're gonna flip over our quesadilla. All right, and we're gonna just let that cook down. So what I'm doing now is just waiting for our quesadillas to finish cooking. We want both sides to be toasty, and we want our cheese to be nice and melted. So we're just giving it about a minute and a half on each side. All right, so you all, our quesadilla is done. We're just simply going to take it off of the pan. We're just gonna cut it. And then we're gonna put some chips on the plate because what's Mexican food without chips? All right, so you have some tortilla chips, which you can also find at your Gooder grocery store. And that's super simple, super easy. You can make this in less than 45 minutes to an hour. Bon appetit.
What we cooking? Quesadilla, ground turkey. Pico with the black bean. Hey, quesadilla, ground turkey with the pico and the black beans. Now follow the recipe. Cook up and let's eat.